This spot is actually the first spot that they ever saw Bigfoot in North America back in like the 1800s, I think.
What is that?
Cherokee Creek!
We are talking Cherokee Creek. This is a low-budget indie B-movie, Sasquatch movie, Bigfoot movie, whatever you want to call it, directed by Todd Jenkins, who also has a role in the movie. Now, this is so similar to the film Don't Fuck in the Woods. I'm sure it's probably just coincidence, but it is very, very similar. So the story here, we have a group of guys, and they want to take their friend out for a stag do. In the States, I pretty call it a bachelor party, I think. Here we call it a stag do. Now, the fiancé of this guy is very controlling, so they have to agree that they're only going to take him out in the woods in like a camping expedition because the fiancé won't like it. So this group of guys prank the groom by kind of pretending to kidnap him and end up taking him out in the woods. However, there's plenty of drugs, beer, and also they've kind of hired a couple of strippers without the wife knowing. However, this wood seems to be home to a dangerous Sasquatch-like creature who can tell whenever a body fluid is excreted. This could be blood, semen, you name it. You know, if it's kind of squirting out of you, this Bigfoot's picking it up, and obviously it's chomping down on our dopey friends who have hired actually a guy dressed up as a Bigfoot to try and scare them as well, which adds to the confusion. So let's talk Cherokee Creek. So obviously this is a lower budget film, so don't be expecting high production values. But this film is actually quite funny. It has some quite sort of like rude humour. In actual fact, I was reading that this actually has been now banned by Amazon. It's on iTunes, Vudu, but was actually on Amazon, but it's now been taken off due to complaints because it's it is quite kind of obviously crude in places. I don't think it's really any worse than a lot of other films that I've seen, if I'm brutally honest. It's certainly not as gory. There may well be there's a few sexual elements here that maybe people have been offended by, but there you go. There are some kind of quite fun gore effects here. The creature itself is it's not a bad effort for a kind of a man in a suit. Kind of kept in shadows for the most time, which I feel was probably a good bet here because obviously it's relatively kind of cheap looking. The acting, I've got to say, was quite fun. It's not of the serious acting type. Obviously, it's a kind of a goofy B movie, and obviously the cast kind of knows this and kind of having a kind of a sort of a good time with it. Some of the characters, I've got to say, seemed a little bit kind of on the farcical side of being realistic, if that makes sense. Because we know it's a kind of a horror comedy, and that's fine, but I feel like you have to have people who you think you can maybe meet in real life. And some of these characters, we see a couple of hunters at the beginning, and one of these guys just seems to be like comically, it's just too stupid to be able to survive into an adult. So things like that. Some of these characters seem a little bit OTT. There's another one as well in our main kind of group as well, which just seems to be a little bit too OTT in regards to having a kind of a believable human being. The movie is quite graphic in regards to sort of sexual situations, which I've got a feeling why this maybe have got banned. It's certainly in violence and gore and stuff. It's kind of no different from anything else. There is a kind of an underlying kind of sexual element. It also has a little bit of commentary on kind of double standards and the kind of dating and things like this. And I actually thought the script was actually sort of quite good, I gotta say, and quite sort of clever. I don't want to kind of give away all the kind of it dips its tone a little bit of commentary here and there, which I thought was quite good. I've got to say, I feel this movie is getting a bit of a bum rap because it's actually quite a fun B movie. Yeah, it's really cheap. The monster doesn't look very good. The kind of the prosthetics are a little bit kind of on the cheaper side. We have a guy who loses his penis, should we say? And I thought, he's the director, and of course he's given himself a massive prosthetic penis. Of course you have, mate. Of course you have. Anyway, it's a lot of fun. It's nothing too kind of outstanding. I don't think it's fun, but not particularly kind of clever. If you like Don't Fuck in the Woods, then I feel this is probably a companion piece to it, but it's so similar. It really is. And maybe that's kind of why people have objected to it. I don't know. But I've got to say, I actually thought this movie was a bit of fun. It's a cheap B-movie schlocky film. It's not anything too deep. It does have a couple of witty moments. There are a couple of okay gore shots. There's plenty of kind of like fun characters. I enjoyed the fact that one of the characters is actually a kind of a B-movie actor himself, playing an actor, and that does come part of the plot, which I thought was quite fun, and how people kind of react to it. I quite enjoyed that. So you always have a little bit of commentary and the kind of like the state of independent film within the film. So that I enjoyed. I think maybe a bit more of an effort could be done on the kind of the creature side of things. That seems very kind of underdeveloped, to be honest, and kind of almost an afterthought to a certain degree. But I would say it's worth a watch. If you're a B-movie fan, you'd probably get a lot to enjoy here. It's a lot of fun. It's not ball-bustingly funny, but it's certainly amusing. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. Have you seen it? What did you think of it? Leave a comment and I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.